Hi everyone. I'd like you all to do a small exercise for me. Can you think of the most transformative technology in your life right now? Something you just cannot live without. It could be your phone, the internet, your laptop. And now imagine that somebody that you respect or an expert tells you that that technology is redundant or outright silly or unworthy of the attention of scientific or practical men. This is a quote from 1878 about electricity. And here's what I find fascinating and a tad bit terrifying about that story. When Thomas Edison claimed to have found a solution to make electricity commercially viable, the British Parliamentary Committee, which was set up specifically to understand the benefits of this technology, dismissed it. And why? Perhaps because we as a species have a terrible habit, the habit of dismissing transformative ideas before they transform us. And I think we are doing it again. Humanity has been here before, three times to be precise. The first revolution was mechanization, the steam engine, water power, coal. For the first time in human history, muscle was not the constraint of what could be built or moved. The second revolution was mass production, electricity, steel, industrial scale. Goods that once took weeks to be crafted by hand could now be made in minutes, at scale for everyone. The third was the digital age, led by computers, the internet. Information, once locked up in libraries and cabinets, became instant and universal. And we, you and I in this very room, are in the midst of the fourth revolution, one that is powered by artificial intelligence, robotics, and my topic for today, blockchains. While each of these revolutions improved the quality of our lives, created wealth at a scale that was previously unimaginable, and extended our lifespans, they had something rather tragic in common. They were all widely dismissed at the onset. The automobile was called a toy, the telephone redundant, the internet a fad. And I think we're making the same mistake by dismissing blockchains, the most misunderstood technology of them all. So let's address the elephant in the room. What exactly is a blockchain? Well, it is just what its name says, a chain of blocks, blocks that store data across thousands of computers. You could think of it like maybe the bank statement of the entire world, updating millions of transactions across several thousand machines, except with one fundamental difference. Unlike your bank statement, a blockchain's record can never be altered by any individual, institution, or even country. That is the core idea. And I'll tell you why it's important for each one of us in this room through three stories. Story number one, the land that isn't yours. Imagine that you inherit a piece of land from your parents. Your family has farmed it for three generations. Your entire village knows that it's yours. And yet, to prove it legally, you need to get a document updated. So you visit your local patwari week after week after week until you realize that he actually wants a bribe to simply do his job. This is not an exception. This is the story of India. Almost 73 lakh cases lie in Indian courts today related to land and property disputes. 45% of all of India's properties lack a clear title. And the result? Almost 18 lakh 50,000 crores of wealth is locked in legal limbo. Not because the land doesn't exist, and not because the title is genuinely unclear, but because somebody with a stamp and a paper and a pen changed that record. Put that record on the blockchain, and you have trust and authenticity. There is no document to delay, no version to forge. The record is simply what it is, verified by thousands of machines. When you inherit that land, the title transfers to you the moment the law says it should, and not when somebody thinks it's worth their time to process your file. Problem number two, the day the bank said no. In 2019, the Reserve Bank of India put limits on the Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank. Overnight, almost 9 lakh depositors lost access to their own savings. EMIs went unpaid, medicines could not be bought, and worse, 11 people lost their lives linked to the despair of being locked out of their own money. Blockchains eliminate this. They bring you ownership and agency. Assets held in a blockchain wallet are secured by you through a private key that only you possess. No conflict can lock you out, no institution can freeze it. You could think of it like your digital locker, accessible wherever you go, no matter where in the world. And this brings me to my last story, the savings that are slowly disappearing. This story is slower, quieter, but perhaps the most important of them all. I'd like you all to pay attention to this chart. Doesn't it look like the chart of a company which has been in continuous decline? Well, this is the chart of something far more valuable to each one of us, the chart of the rupee versus the dollar. While I'm deeply grateful for the economic miracle in India, it is also true that the rupee has lost almost 97% of its value against the dollar since independence. Historically, our parents bought gold and property to protect against this. And while this instinct is sound, both have their limitations. If you had bought gold in the 1980s and held it for 20 years, you would have lost almost 70% of your entire net worth. And we are all aware of the 2008 global recession, which was triggered because of a decline in property prices. The solution is to hold assets that also have global and universal appeal. Blockchains bring you choice and access. Through blockchains, you can now own stocks of your favorite AI companies, commodities like oil, sugar, cocoa, and copper, and of course, Bitcoin, the most important asset of them all. Bitcoin is a blockchain based asset that has all the characteristics of what a good store of value is. Unlike rupees or even dollars, it has a limited supply and cannot be printed by central banks. Unlike gold, it has no storage costs associated with it. Unlike your bank statement, it can never be seized. And to top it all, it is converted to cash in an instant for as little as a rupee. Three problems, three solutions, and one technology that the world is busy dismissing. Now, I want to be honest with you. Blockchain is not a magic wand. Like any early stage technology, it requires judgment and not blind faith. I am saying be aware, note that these tools exist, understand what they can do, use them thoughtfully to build a more resilient life. And this brings me back to my initial point. The saddest part about the story in 1878 was not that the experts were wrong, but that they were the most well positioned to be right and they still couldn't see it. All I ask of you is to not be like the experts of the 1870s. In the era of the fourth revolution, be open minded. And if blockchain piqued your interest, come find me after this talk. Thank you.